Hi everybody, welcome on board. Welcome to our Monday Night Live. We do it every week at 7 p.m. And here in America, we just went through the time change, so daylight savings. So we are 1 hour earlier for other countries that are watching this. But for us America, for people who live in America, we are definitely coming on at 7. Welcome on board, dear LEK. Nice to see you. So, I'm having some of my cacao, and it was a little bit of a rushed getting home on time here. So, here we are. We are gonna be discussing. Before we go into our healing, we're going to do our healing later in about 20-30 minutes. But until then, we're going to be discussing and talking about the Sacral Chakra and the Svadhisthana, right? It's called Svadhisthana in Sanskrit. And that is because, of course, the teachings of the energy centers that we call the chakras. The way that many of us have learned them, it comes from the Hindu teachings, the ancient Indian teachings. While the traditions of shamans in South America are also talking about the energy centers of our body. And now that chakras have become such a big name, a word, most of us are referring to that, even though the South American shamans have known and talked about the openings of energy into our body for a very long time, way before we called it chakras. So when we look at this thing we call the chakra system, which is your energy, it is how the energy flows in our body. In Chinese medicine, they call it qi or ki, and we call it prana, how the life force energy will run through our system. And prana is, of course, the breath, the sacred breath. It's how we fuel the system of energy inside of us. And as we start to sit in on our healing journey, so we are going on what I refer to as a healing journey. And if you are watching these videos, most likely you are on your healing journey as well. A lot of these practices will be very, very beneficial. They will be more helpful if you also meditate between these Monday Night Lives. If you sit in your own meditation, and you can either, if you feel like you still want the energy healing, you can replay that part, of course. But you could also just sit in your inner healing work. Because when we start to actually focus into our body and we start to feel the different parts of our system, meditation becomes something active. It doesn't only become this. I sat in what Eckhart Tolle refers to as the inner stillness. Many people talk about that, the peace of God. I sat in that for many years, where I felt and I believed that that's all I needed to do, until I was blessed enough to first find Reiki, and then my shaman teacher scooped me up and showed me the way into my own healing journey, differently than just purely sitting in stillness. So when I started finding the blockages in our system, in my system, I started feeling both that. In my case, there was a lot of pain in my heart, but also a block in my solar plexus area, the sacral chakra, which it's located around your belly button area, just a little bit below, like 1 or 2 fingers below your belly button area and inside. And this is where, for women, your reproductive organs are sitting right there. And for men, the reproductive organs are usually located, like we refer to it as being in the root chakra more than in the sacral chakra, which is, it explains a few things why men and women view intimacy so differently, and also why women have more of an emotional connection to a partner or to, they need that, while men often will need more of a physical connection in order to feel grounded and rooted. And there's a whole, I can talk about that. I'm going to come out with a video about that at some point. But it's a little bit of a bigger theme than I want to cover today. But when we look at the sacral chakra, so it is located in the area of female reproductive organs, belly button area. We can see that in today's world, so many, specifically women, are suffering from different forms of pain in that area. And it could be based on many different things, right? Stress will be one of them. Lack of self-love will be a big one. Lack of self-worth, of course, they're very intimately connected. And we can also look at when we are feeling this stressful state, that we're in a stressful state. And we can also look at the different poisons that are in our world that actually help to put blockages in our system, that they hurt us, right? So Roundup in the food, or all these other pesticides, herbicides that are present in our foods, they will affect us. The water will affect us. It'll also hit the sacral chakra area. And many different, the hormonal imbalances that we suffer from also will really hit and block in the sacral chakra area. And when we look at different forms of what you call them, birth control, they are also interrupting the hormone balance, the cyclical nature, the hormonal balance within the female body, which will also help to block different parts of our system. And often you can find that block in the sacral chakra area. We refer to different ages when the different chakras, and often we can talk about 7-year increments. So on the first 7 years of a life, if we experience trauma or upheaval, which can lead to what's called soul loss, then if it hits between the year 0 to 7, we will actually have, the trauma will be stuck in the root chakra. And when it hits there in the root chakra, that expresses itself as a lot of instability physically. Physical, like not feeling safe in the world, not being able to hold on to money, or over hoarding money, for example. It all depends on the imbalance, how it has hit us. But an injured root chakra will definitely stop the flow of energy in our system and our connectivity to Earth Mother herself. Now, when we are blocked in the sacral chakra, which is then self-love and self-worth specifically, there are other things connected to it, creativity, flow of life, and creativity is a big one right there, right? If you think about what is in the sacral chakra, that is the creation of life itself. That's the seed of life. That's where life is created for humans, and that's where life happens. In the Swedish word for uterus is life mother, or mother of life. And I found that fascinating when that hit me not so long ago, when I realized that, oh, it means life mother, and that is where life is created, the mother of life. And if we have blockages between the year 7 to 14, if we experience trauma, which when you correspond these 7-year increments to psychological development, you'll see that, yeah, between the ages of 7 to 14, we go through some major changes. We go from being very, very innocent little children into a small adulthood, right? Young adults. And when that shift happens, there's of course, for women, the moving through the menstruation period can start at that point, which leads you towards womanhood, but also this physical development of the body that suddenly will change how boys and girls interact. And when little girls turn into little women, the energy that they are bombarded with from the outside world is suddenly very different than the energy that came before. So when you're being bombarded, let's call it sexual energy, let's call it predatory energy. It's not always predatory, of course, it can be beautiful. But so often when you go from being a very innocent, completely innocent person into a person who is now receiving sexual attention in your life, that can be very uncomfortable. That can be very, very difficult to handle for a young person. So when that comes towards younger, like girls who are between 7 and 14, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the energy shifts, it can be very difficult to deal with it, and that can make blockages happen in the sacral chakra. That can create these, and also self-love and self-worth, right? We don't know how to deal with this energy that suddenly comes at us. And as we are moving in that new space in our lives, emotional trauma can easily happen. And as well as then we look at different forms of abuse, right? In school, people tease each other. Little boys, little girls are really mean to each other at times. And those words can, of course, hurt really deeply. And when it's between 7 to 14, it will hurt our self-worth and our self-love a lot. So we start to feel like we're not worthy, that we are not worthy of love, we're not worthy of, we don't have, some of us felt like we had no worth. It all depends on our circumstances that we grew up in. But as we start to see, when you feel into your sacral chakra and you start, if you take deep breaths, right? Because here again, we're going to be using deep breaths to find if we have any blockages in any areas of our body. And what we want to do is we want to breathe deeply into our system. And in this case, we're talking about the sacral chakra. So we want to breathe into that part of our body. We want to find a state of relaxation around the belly button, around the lower part of our back, the back side of our body and the front of our body, but specifically in the front part, right? We want to breathe into our sacral chakra. At times when you do this, there will be memories that pop up, or there will be pain and contraction, tightness coming up. When that happens, when you find tightness in that area, you realize, you could realize if you sit with it, that there might be some trauma hiding, that there might be some imbalances hiding. And often they express themselves through our lives, how we live our lives. And when we're younger, we may just think it was bad luck. When we are, still in a younger state of our lives, we still think that, it's going to change. If only this outer circumstance changes, if only that changes, then I'll feel more love. If I find the right partner, I'll feel more self-love. And what ends up coming back home into our body is, of course, when you find a partner, you may or may not, usually we get too attached, we get needy. Usually we find that, I can finally feel love. So now we think that as long as this person loves us, we'll be okay. Which is, of course, a band-aid and almost like a sidestepping of our healing journey, of how we can come back home into our body and begin to see what are the blockages in my system that have created these different settings where I suffer. What is it inside of me that's giving me these messages? I'm not as much worth as other people. I am not worthy of love. I am not worthy of happiness, of money, of whatever it might be, of inner beauty. And as we then begin to both breathe into it and we bring our awareness into our sacral chakra, we start to feel that there is a little bit of heat building up. And as that heat is building up, this is energy accumulating and starting to help us. Now, one way to help clear yourself is you can both, if you find that little person that went through some very hard things, if those memories pop up for you, the first thing we want to do is, aside from staying present, we want to hold that little person, that little version of ourselves. We want to hold them in as much compassion and love and tolerance and understanding that we can. We want to hold that little version of ourselves in so much love. So we start to feel safe, safer in these different traumas that we have gone through. And as you start to sit with that little person, you begin to heal that situation. Because we want to understand that it is hard to be bullied. It is hard to go through abuse. It is hard to go through family tragedies or family upheaval. And if we don't acknowledge that, we're going to keep going in what's called bypassing. But as we can sit, if we can stay present within ourselves, feeling very connected to life force energy, then we have enough strength and power to not fall into the trap of becoming the little person. The saying, you got to feel it to heal it, doesn't mean we have to go through the trauma again and relive an abusive situation again, because what happens then is that we are re-traumatizing ourselves. There's not much healing that happens in that space. But if you're able to hold that little person in light without becoming him or her, you start to find that this little person may not be as deeply injured as it felt when we were completely alone and completely abandoned. That when you and I, from this point, we act as our higher selves, and we hold that little person in love and light. We hold that little version of ourselves. We can think of situations that we went through. And we hold that little, we understand it was difficult. Yes. Another thing that really easily can be stuck in the sacral chakra is a sense of abandonment. The abandonment of the parents or of friends can really sit stuck in the sacral chakra area. And when that pops up for you, if it pops up for you, it is imperative that we hold that little person in understanding, in love, and in light. That we understand that feeling abandoned and feeling alone is very difficult for a human being, especially a little one. But as we hold that person in light, that little person stops to feel as alone. And as we start to heal that part of ourselves, we are now getting ready. We may not be ready yet, but we're coming closer to lifting this little part of ourselves into our hearts. And you can do that physically. You can grab your hand or pull your hand along your sacral chakra and lift that little piece of yourself into your heart. And if there's still feelings of trauma and pain, you can also just grab in your energy field. You can pull out from your sacral chakra. You grab like this and you pull out in your energy. You're pulling out the threads of energy that are reminding us of that pain and suffering. And it doesn't mean that we completely forget, but it means that we are allowing those energetic ties and cords, we're pulling them out of our system and we're shifting the trajectory. Because if you think about it, if you were 9 years old and you had a very difficult situation that made you feel really, really terribly weak, right? Because a lot of our self-power lives in our sacral chakra too, the driving force of life, right? So we felt powerless because somebody abandoned us or somebody close to us was mean to us or something of that nature. So when we felt weak at 9, how we acted at 10, 12, 14, 15, 20, based on feeling so weak when we were 9, could become very, very difficult. It became very, we did things worse than what we did before. And as we're healing that 9-year-old, this is quantum healing. This is stepping outside of the realm of the logical mind and stepping into the energy world. As you're healing that little part of yourself that was hurt so badly at 9, if you think about a timeline, and if something happens that hurts us bad at 9, or let's say that we break our leg and we walk with a limp, and that limp stops us from doing certain things in life. What if we come back and we change the meaning? We change the meaning of how deeply emotionally hard that limp was or something else. So now we're getting more energy. We're helping to heal the 9-year-old self. We're putting the 9-year-old self back in our hearts. And we're holding that little person in love and light. What happens to the situations that followed on the timeline where we were badly injured? If we healed that badly injured situation, the following tragedies are not going to be as difficult to carry. Because we are quantumly, in the quantum field, we are healing the original incident for the trauma. This leads to a healing of the follow-up traumas as well. And I know we have to, like, it sounds strange, right? But we actually start to regain a sense of self-worth and self-love by healing those situations. And another way of looking into it is to sit with your sacral chakra area, feel into it. Fill it up with love. Fill it up with light. And maybe there'll be a voice saying, no, but I'm not worthy. This is exactly why we are filling it up with love and light. So you're envisioning the part of your sacral chakra being full of light and love. And you can feel almost an activation of energy in that center. And now I want you to begin to scoop in self-love. You just pull it into your body. You pull in self-love and self-worth into your system. And you begin to feel different. With each breath, we fill ourselves up a little more and a little more. And this is not to come up with reasons why you and I are worthy. This is to fill ourselves up with love and light, period. We don't have to justify to the mind why we're worthy. We just have to fill ourselves up with the feeling of it. We will lose to the mind. The mind programming will come back in if we try to do it the logical way. But by doing it energetically, we actually begin to heal how we feel about it. And the last part of or two more parts of the healing of the sacral chakra. Every chakra you can do this too, but I'm going to show it. You spin counterclockwise, at least 3 spins to slow, because every chakra, every energy field, energy center has energy spinning like a small vortex coming out of your body. And as you spin counterclockwise, that goes against the spin of the energy. So you're slowing it down, giving yourself access to it. So we spin against it. Then we take our hand and we pull out the pain and the suffering. We remove it out of our system. And you will feel things happening. You will feel things moving. And then when you're done with that, you pull out 3, 5, 7 times until it feels better or good. Then you spin it back up at least 3 times, right? And when you go closer to your body, you can do smaller circles. But as you move out, you do them bigger and bigger. Because the energy centers go like cones out of our system. And as we then go bigger, we actually help to activate the spinning of that energy. And as we do, we go, whoa, I feel different. And I know that this sounds odd if you haven't been involved in any energy healing work before, but try it, give it a shot. Try it on every chakra. Try it on your root, on your sacral, on your heart, on your solar plexus, anyone you would like. It's a beautiful practice of balancing and clearing chakras. It's very powerful. Now, we also have the bishas, the mantras that are attached to each chakra. Last week, we did the VAM for the root. And we had our hands like this, like fists, but the fingers and the index finger and the thumb were touching, but we had our hands like this on our knees. And we did VAM. And that is hitting into the root chakra. We focus the energy to the root and we say VAM. Then, when we're moving into the sacral chakra, we will put our right hand in front of the sacral chakra, on the sacral chakra area, on your belly button area. You just hold your hand right there. With your left hand, you're going to hold it out of your body and up. So you are receiving energy from the universe. You are receiving love from the universe. And the sound we're going to make is LAM, L-A-M. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do that 3 times together just to feel what it feels like. So do it with me. Feel it in your sacral chakra. Focus your energy on your sacral chakra. One more time. And again. And of course, you may or may not feel a big shift. If you keep this practice going, where we do the VAM for the root and with the LAM for the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana, we will absolutely begin to notice a difference. And when self-love starts to enter your life and self-worth, you begin to recognize that, oh, I'm as much worth of love, of security, of safety, of money, of success as everybody else around me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we activate our level of self-worth and self-love. We raise it up. Creativity lives in this area as well. And that is, of course, like we said earlier, the creation of life, but also creative flow. And this new moon that just came in yesterday, the new moon in Pisces, is both bringing in a sexual activation of our bodies, which is creative energy, creative life force energy. It activates our sexuality inside of our body, gives us more energy, gives us more power. But it also activates our creative flow. So if you've been feeling inspired to create, to write, to draw, to do whatever, in my case, it came up, a lot came up this last week, especially in the writing arena. But it's been beautiful because so many interesting things come up when these energies are supporting the activations of our world, of our lives. So welcome aboard, everybody who came on board. So we've been discussing the Sacral Chakra, the Svadhisthana, and how to heal it, and what self-love and self-worth is. It's a life force energy, right? As we sit in that beauty, that inner beauty of love, we begin to feel a shift in our system, in our energy field. And as that shift happens, we are propelled through life differently than before. And we shine differently than before. So, beloved, 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 we're going to do our healing session. And what I would like to suggest is that you set an intention for this healing session. Of course, I'm going to focus the energy to a large degree on the sacral chakra. But we are going to work on all of whatever comes up, we're going to work on. With your permission, we'll be working on your energy. So much healing, so much love. So I ask of you to set an intention for the healing session. Take it in, and sit with an open mind. If this is the first time you're doing this healing, there's going to be some unusual sounds. We're going to use the medicine of the drum, the flute, and the rattle, and the sounds that are working through me, the spirit guides and the power animals that are working through me, communicating directly to your energy body, communicating directly to the cells in our system. So our mind doesn't have to get in the way. Our mind doesn't have to understand every single thing that happens. We can feel it, but the mind doesn't have to know the words. It's actually better that way, believe it or not. So I'm going to open up sacred space, and then we're going to move into the session. Make yourself comfortable. Sit with an open mind and an open heart. Feel the heartbeat of Earth Mother of your body. I am Shaman Marcus. I'm of the tribe of kings and queens of old. And we sit here together in this sacred space, in this healing circle. This time it's online, but we are so grateful we sit with you and share this connection, this loving space of healing, of growth, of a deeper understanding. We invite the winds of the south, represented by the serpent, the feminine healing powers of our world, to come here and hold sacred space for us and to activate the deepest level of healing. From the root chakra and up, rising up like the serpent through our spine. We invite the winds of the east, represented by the condor, the eagle, and the dragon. These are the seers into the unseen, and we ask that they hold sacred space for us and that they guide us into the realm of the unseen. We invite the winds of the north, represented by the raven. The raven is the sacred sage of our planet, the knower of all things. We ask that the raven activate the deepest level of knowing in every part of our body, in every part of our DNA. That our emotional body, physical body, mental body, energetic body, and spiritual body may all vibrate to the highest knowing, the highest good. We also ask that the raven holds sacred space for us. And from the winds of the west, represented by the jaguar, we ask that she holds sacred space for us. The jaguar is the holy warrior of our planet. And as such, we ask that she lend us her courage into our hearts. Then we call on Earth Mother, Pachamama, Father Sun, Father Sky. And we not so much call on them as bring our own attention and awareness to them. They are constantly holding us in sacred space, from the direction below and from the direction above. Earth Mother, the flow of life, the creation of all life. And the support of Father Sky, who pulls us along the Milky Way, hurtling through space. We also call on Saint Michael with the sword of light, sword of truth, to come here and cut any cords that can be cut when it's for the highest good of all involved. We also ask that Saint Michael with the sword of light helps us to see ourselves clearly. We call on Stangl the dragon, Maya the wolf, and Bea the bear, and whatever power animal is present here with you, to come here and facilitate the healing here today and to guard our sacred space. We also invite the winds, or the spirit guides, Sam and his brothers. We ask that they facilitate the healing here today, that they guide us, and that they guard our sacred space. Then we have the tribe of kings and queens of old. And we are so grateful that we get to sit in the presence of this magnificent energy flow. We have Ombute and her loving presence and loving support. And then we have the ancestors and the friends and the family on the other side of the veil, guiding us, looking over, looking out for us from the realm of the unseen. And then we come over to life force energy itself, coursing through every vein in our body. And then we have the Ascended Masters. We ask that they come here and guide us and hold sacred space for us. That they show up for us. So we may learn that teaching, the teachings of higher nature, the ancient teachings, the ways of the old. One of the big teachers is, of course, Jesus himself, and we ask that he come into our hearts. We also have Paramahansa Yogananda and the whole Guru lineage, and other Ascended Masters along the way. And lastly, we come to the Norse, where we ask that Odin, with his power and wisdom, come here and guide us and hold space for us, protect us. We see that Freya, with her love for life, her zest, her creative dance, we ask that she come here and activate that deepest level of creation within us. And then we have Thor with his power and courage, strength and courage. And we have Loki with his intelligence and mischievousness, his jokery, his humor, his fun. And we have Stafnir and Rafnir and Hugin and Moonin. We ask that all these energies guide us and help us in this healing session right now. Keep that breath going to the Sacral Chakra area. Keep your focus into your body. Open up that heart. Wahia de toyo. Dai wahia de dogo daya de wahi yahi 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 yahi. Deo go daya de wahia ea ea. Dayo. Dayo wahia ea. Deo go daya. Dayo. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dayo. 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 Hey yo 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 太陽和平を答え。太陽よよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよはいよ太陽といよ太陽といよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよ Tayo wa te toyo na he toyo taya te wa he a he a he a he a he a. I am Shaman Marcus. I'm of the tribe of kings and queens of old. And I'm so grateful. We are so grateful we sit here with you. That the inner love is ignited. That we stoke that fire. The fire of love. Fire of self-worth. Fire of self-love. Creative life force energy. We give great thanks to the winds of the south, to the winds of the east, the winds of the north, the winds of the west. To Pachamama, Earth Mother, and Father Sun, and Father Sky. To Saint Michael with a sword of light, sword of truth. To Stungle the dragon, Maya the wolf, Bear the bear. To Sam and his brothers. To the tribe of kings and queens of old. To Ombute and her loving energy. To the ancestors on the other side of the veil. To the friends and family, also them on the other side of the veil. Their well wishes, their love. We give great thanks to life force energy itself. To the ascended masters supporting us on this journey. And to the Norse, the Aesir, Odin, Freya, Thor and Loki. To Stafner and Rafner and Hugin and Moonin. And to you, to you, to you, to you. Te wahi o kutaya, te wahi o kutaya. May you walk in blessings. May your life be full of love, of light, of joy. May you walk with your Creator, life force energy itself. Hawahi, Hawahi, Hawahi. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. So that was it for today, my beloved. Oh, may you sit in that loving inner space. May you access your power, your love, your force. Sit with the Lam throughout the week. Do it in your meditation. See what happens. I wish you a beautiful, lovely week. That I get to see you next week again. So much love, so much power, so much light. Namaste and aho. Thank you, Tracy Joe Hill. Thank you. So glad you were here. Thank you, Ellie K. Thank you, thank you. That was lovely. Thank you, everybody. It's so lovely to have you here. I bid you a beautiful week.